Have you noticed that you walk a little slower now? Even on flat ground, even when you are not tired, even when there is no pain. But your steps are a little smaller. A little more careful. As if something is gently holding you back. Have you noticed this? Most people ask themselves this question. And most of the time they arrive at the same answer. I am getting old. My muscles have weakened. I no longer have that strength. This thought is very common. But in most cases it is not correct. Slowing down does not come from muscle loss. It comes from the brain's changing priorities. After the 60s the brain begins to evaluate walking through a different lens. Speed is no longer the primary goal. Safety becomes the primary goal. And the brain quietly puts this priority into practice, without you even being aware. Steps become smaller. Tempo slows down. Because the brain wants to gather a little more information with each step. This is a scientific reality. With age, peripheral vision narrows. In a young person the field of vision is wide. Is there an obstacle on the right, a height difference on the left, a crack in the ground? The brain notices these things almost automatically. But after 65 this environmental scanning slows down. The brain needs a little more time to gather the same information. And this need for time directly affects step speed. In addition to this, reaction time changes. When a young person's foot touches an unexpected surface, the brain responds instantly. Balance is corrected. Movement continues. This response time lengthens with age. It seems like milliseconds. But for the body this difference is very significant. And the brain knows this difference. This is why it moves carefully. It advances more slowly. Because the margin for error has decreased. What they usually tell you is this: walk more. Stay active. If you remain still you will slow down even further. This advice is not entirely wrong. But it is incomplete. Because the problem is not the amount of movement. The problem is what the brain is doing during movement. When someone is pushed to walk quickly and the brain has not yet had time to scan its surroundings, confidence decreases. Steps become rigid. Walking becomes mechanical. This is not a healthy way to preserve independence. Speed and confidence are not the same thing. Slowing down is not a loss. Slowing down is the body's way of reordering its priorities. The brain is saying, let me first understand this environment. Then I will move. This is not weakness. This is intelligence. But there is a side effect. Each time you slow down, the social signals from the environment are very powerful. People pass by. You fall behind. Over time this becomes noticeable. And as it is noticed, a sense of shame begins. You try to speed up. But if there is no confidence to speed up, steps become irregular. The risk of falling increases. And that is precisely what the body was trying to prevent. So what can be done? There is no exercise list here. But there is awareness. While walking, observe one thing about yourself. Where are you looking? Are you looking ahead, or are you looking at your feet? Most people after the 60s begin looking at the ground. This is understandable. The brain is checking the nearby environment. But this also narrows environmental scanning. When you look further ahead, the brain gathers wider information. And this information increases confidence. Also notice whether you are breathing while walking. As we spoke about in previous videos, holding breath during movement tenses the body. Walking is affected by this too. When breath flows freely, steps settle into a more natural rhythm. Independence is not speed. Independence is trusting your own steps. Walking in your own time, in your own safety, at your own rhythm. No matter how quickly the world around you moves. I want to ask you something. How old are you? Have you noticed this slowing down? Did you tell yourself it must be muscle loss? Write in the comments. I am curious. If this observation told you something, join our channel. Every week we talk about changes the body quietly lives through but are most often misunderstood. No rush here. Just understanding. Walking slowly is not weakness. Walking slowly is the brain quietly doing its work.